You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
And we welcome you in to our room.
Our humble abode.
I used to say the sunroom because that's where we were doing it. But then this stayed up for a while through the summer. We weren't even doing podcasts. I think that was our downfall.
Yeah, I think we should continue to do them next summer.
We've really lost a lot. I started thinking, is this really
we
worth
wanted
it?
to do some things for summer.
Yeah.
Which we couldn't get. We wanted to do some, taste tests and stuff, and we couldn't get, they weren't in our area. So that didn't help us at all. Either.
No, it didn't. But today we got a couple things we're gonna talk about. We're gonna discuss. Have we ever been publicly shamed? And of course, if you can join in too. Think about this as you're driving in your car. Have you ever been publicly shamed by another parent because of something that maybe your kids did or something like that? We'll discuss that. Dogs can actually smell this on us, and it's not their own poop.
Fear.
We're going to talk about your memory, maybe give you a little help if you need memory help.
I need help.
I've already forgotten what we're talking about. There was a TikTok story that came out about, I love self-checkout because you don't have to wait in line usually. Now that Aldi's kind of moved up a little bit on my list.
Just because they have self-checkout.
They have, because
well,
they have
the last few times we went right up there and yeah.
In and out. And I'm not a big, because I always feel like Aldi doesn't know what it wants to be. If it wants to be a grocery store or if it wants to be a retailer.
Yeah, because they have that one aisle of all the extra stuff. Yeah.
Garbage, really, to be honest. But some people might really like it, so I apologize, but it just looks like garbage to me.
They probably get that stuff at a discount, and so they take it.
But the self-checkouts, apparently this lady said there is a warning that if you are going through the self-checkout, you want to be careful. And that's true, because if you
don't hear the beep, then it didn't ring it up.
The worst one, as far as a self-checkout, is Giant Eagles. Giant Eagles is the worst, because if you don't set it down on the thing,
where the bag
then
is,
it doesn't read it, and it's just I just don't like.
It tells you
Walmart's really good.
Please recheck your
well, actually, the best is Sam's Club because you don't have to do anything at all. You just put it on your phone.
Count your items.
They can count the items. They do 1, 2, 3, boom, you're gone. Actually, Walmart has that too, but you have to pay for a membership.
Oh,
you go in and you can use your phone like we do at Sam's Club. Anyway, we're going to talk about their checkout. And then we're going to decode some dreams. And then that should take up our first segment. And then we're going to talk about, are we in a rut? Sometimes I feel like I'm in a rut. We'll
I've been in a rut for years.
Pizza toppings.
With my job.
What you like as a pizza topping might tell a lot about your taste in the opposite sex. Just by
my plain Jane pizza.
Yeah, just by your pizza toppings. And if we have time, we got a couple extra things to discuss. But I did see this morning, and I wanted, because I know, Terry, you love dogs. So if you had 10 seconds and the dog would understand you for those 10 seconds, you could actually talk to the dog for 10 seconds, what would you ask him? Or her, depending on the dog.
Oh, it depends on which dog it was.
Well, let's just... let's pick one that's usually here. So we'll pick, Titus has been here a lot lately.
Well, Titus has been here more.
Yeah, kind of. That's
Titus,
true.
I would ask if he's getting used to that baby and if he's...
Yeah, how's he feel about
Is the baby still tormenting you?
being second fiddle?
Because the baby, he had his spot in the fireplace and the baby would laugh when he went in there and he would go and he would crawl over there and Ben would kick him out of his spot.
That's true.
So I would ask him, is he still agitating you, I think?
I think it would
be the question to him.
It was a big change for Titus, no doubt, because they were gone for...
And why does he pee on our carpet?
Yeah, I don't understand why he pees on our carpet.
He's the most pee. I thought Rigby was bad, but he pees more in our house than Rigby does.
I don't get it, but he does. And I'm sure he snuck in a
Because
few here
Rigby
and
will
there.
come lick me in the face when he's spending the night or when it's late at night. He will come over to my side of the bed and he will get his breath right in my face. So I wake up and he'll go, and I'll get up and let him out. He does not.
Okay, so we have several questions for Titus.
Yeah.
What if Rigby, 10 seconds, he'd understand you, he could talk back,
I
you
would
could talk
ask
to
him if his boy is taking care of him well enough. Or I bet his meals are not on time. I bet he doesn't get walks.
Well, I know he doesn't get any walks.
You know.
We know that.
I mean,
Yeah.
because I want to kick his owner in his butt when he doesn't take care of him well.
What would you ask Anika? That's the husky.
Oh, she's feeling why she doesn't eat right.
Yeah, but she
have a tummy ache. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
she's
want to
very
know whether she's
particular.
very particular about food. And sometimes she just looks at you and, she won't eat it. And I mean, they even grill up chicken and put cheese on it for her. And she still looks at them like they're nuts. So what's wrong? Are you not hungry or is your stomach upset or what,
I think I'd ask Rigby, what is with the butt sniffing? Seriously.
What is it?
I mean, it's not just now, that when they have other dogs, they sniff other dogs' butt. But what is it with, no matter who, like I can
He's
remember.
an equal opportunity sniffer.
Yeah, he is a butt
Front,
sniffer.
back, boy,
Yeah.
girl.
He'll
doesn't
get
care.
you, if you're open, he's coming in. Especially if you just, we'd open up the pool, we'd have a party. He'd come running over and he'd get your mom all the time. He'd get my mom too, right up the old keister. Every time they jump about 5 feet in the air, that wet nose on their tuchus. It's disgusting. And I think I would ask him, what's the deal, man? What are you looking for? I don't get it. You don't want to be naked around him, that's for sure.
No, I wouldn't. Don't bend over naked in front of that dog. You'll have
Then I thought, well,
wet nose in the...
If he timed it perfectly and you farted right in his face,
that'd be-
would that discourage him from
I
doing
don't think
it
it
again?
would. He likes bad smells.
Yeah, I think he does.
He eats socks, so
So I would
he's
ask him
used to.
that. Anika, I would probably ask, what do you do? Well, now that Nathan's home, so I'd say, what do you guys do all day in the house? What do you do? What's Nathan do? Tell
I
me.
know, because she used to be like 14 hours, 16 hours at home alone.
Yeah, easy.
How could she stand
Easy.
it?
And Titus, you already asked the question about having, Fen in the house now. I guess I would ask, do you wish you had longer legs? Because he's a
Corgi.
he's a corgi. He's got these short little stubby legs. He's like a miniature to me, and I'm way off probably, but he kind of looks like Rigby. So he's kind of like a little mini me, sort of. It's kind of.
Well, his coloring is
The
same.
coloring, not, he's just a different kind of dog.
Oh,
but
yeah, because when he was a baby, Ian was younger, much younger too, and he said, "Is that Rigby's puppy?" Because
Yeah,
their
'cause
coloring
the
was
coloring.
so much alike.
Yeah. But of all three dogs that they're very, Rigby's had some issues, but as he's getting older, he seems to be getting
A little bit better.
a little bit better. So, okay, so we have our questions. What would you ask your dog, ladies and gentlemen, if you could talk to or if your cat, although you'd have to, some cats aren't as loving. Some are.
Yeah.
I like to sit up on their owner's laps or whatever. But a lot of cats are very they want to be on their own. They don't want to be bothered. At least I think. We've never had a cat, so I don't know. Have you had cats?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? When you were young?
Yeah, I think how loving they are is how loving you are with them when they're a kitten. Like,
Oh, I can see that, I guess.
if you don't pay a lot of attention to them as a kitten, then and some cats just don't like to be messed with. Corky and Cassie had a Mew, a gray cat when we were growing up, and it just didn't like people. It would hide when you went over, but it used the toilet.
The cat did? Mm-hmm. It flushed too? Or just used it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did flush too. But they left water in the bathtub. They would put the plug in the water, and that's how it drank. And then it used the toilet.
Out of the bathtub?
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't you just have a bowl for?
They left a little puddle of water in the bathtub for it to drink, and
That doesn't make any sense.
it just.
I mean,
I just
they're
remember-
self-sufficient. They can get out of a bowl, and they don't need to be in the bathtub unless they're locked in the bathroom as their.
But he would hide. Like when you come over, he would hide. Like you wouldn't see him. Like.
Yeah, that's what cats do most of the time. Especially if they don't know somebody.
He didn't
They'll run
like
and hide.
people very well.
They're not like dogs. They're not as greeting, I don't think, as dogs. I guess some cats are, but some people treat their cats like a dog. But dogs really, they're very welcoming until they get you up the rear end, and then you're like, or they start humping your leg. But anyway, okay, so that's that one. What would you ask your dog if you had 10 seconds and they could understand and answer back? I think it'd be interesting. Then I think I'm on something. Maybe I sniffed a little too much cocaine or something because the dog is talking back to me.
Yeah.
Have we ever been publicly shamed because of something our kids did? Either, somebody in public or by another parent. And I don't ever remember being.
I don't think so.
By our kids.
And I don't think I've ever done
I've
that
been
to someone
embarrassed.
else.
I think we've had to leave stores when they were really, really young. It didn't happen. It might have been once they put up a fit.
Yeah, and I left with nothing.
Yeah, we left with nothing. And I vaguely remember that because that's how old we are now. But I don't remember ever being publicly shamed.
No.
Or I've never done it to anybody else.
I don't think I have. I mean, because I'm at school and kids get, suspended for all kinds of stuff. And don't ever say, oh, that would never happen to me, because you just don't know.
No, you
And
don't.
You don't know what kids can influence your kids. You don't know what, you don't ever expect to go down that road, and you just takes one bad egg and they're in the midst of it and they're guilty by association,
Yeah, I don't, I wouldn't shame. I mean, you don't know what the parent's going through at that time. You don't know what the kid's going through. They want to, they may have gone in telling the kids, "Oh, listen, we're going in there. We've done this. We're going in there. We're just getting, we need to get, we're not buying toys, or this is not a toy, And then it always turns into a fiasco because that's, especially if, now that I'm a grandpa, I think about taking him to, my dad used to take our boys to
to the
and I get it now.
KB Toys.
Yeah. KB Toys. Yeah. KB Toys back when the mall had actual stores in the mall, Washington Crown Center. And he'd take them to KB Toys. And of course, they'd always pull out, usually with some type of a character, usually wrestling
or turtles or whatever they were into, Batman, whatever they were into.
Yeah, that's true. It could be their 15th Batman that did something underwater or something. Yeah, that's true. There was gold. Yeah, that's a good point. And then, it made it harder to get them stuff for Christmas. Made them tough.
Yeah.
But as far as, like shaming someone, I wouldn't do it. I know how hard it is to parent, especially nowadays. I think it's really tough.
I think it's worse nowadays.
To parent, I do too. I think you can kind of control what they see for the most part when they're young, and then as they get phones and more into social media and all that other crap.
And people are allowing their kids to get phones really young.
We talked about that last week, and it was last week, but this will be. I'm off a little bit, but. We talked about that, how young should a kid get a phone. And the tough part is, and I think we mentioned this, is when you have parents that are working 2-3 jobs or opposite each other. Maybe a parent's coming home, but there's that in-between time where they're coming home and the other parent has to go to work. And so the kids are at least 10 or 11. That's when I think you could leave it. I don't know.
Depending on the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 9.
Their maturity level.
Yeah.
But I think
and if they're afraid.
Right.
I mean, they're more apt to be afraid in the dark, I would think, than in the light. So if you're coming and going is like at dinner time and it's still light, you're probably okay to leave them a half an hour by themselves or whatever. But
yeah, I think that if I'm looking at an age 10 or 11, but then I wonder if you can put some restrictions on the phone, what they can get into, because it's tough. But as far as us being publicly shamed, I don't ever remember.
I don't.
Maybe we've been embarrassed by something that happened, because I was reading a story today about parents judge children when they tell the absolute truth. Like, for instance, they get a present and they say, "This is ugly. I don't want it."
Nathan was 2 or 3, didn't even talk yet, and he threw the baby doll at Janet.
Yeah, someone got him a baby doll.
That was at Janet because he used to steal Jillian's little baby doll at one, so she found a blue one just like it. And because he used to take it off of her. He just took it off of her to agitate her.
That's all.
And make her cry every time she came into our house. And so she bought him one thinking he must like it. He takes it off of her every time she comes. And he opened that and he whipped it at her. He was like,
I'm not taking that.
I was just doing that to agitate your daughter. I don't want a baby.
Yeah, that was, I mean, a lot of parents think, you can kind of like, oh, that's funny, haha, and then, just... You don't have to really be brutally honest.
I think she actually took it back to the store and got him something different. Yeah.
Yeah, she did. I think it was more just to kind of mess with him a little bit, maybe. Who knows? Okay, so anyway, the parents were a little harsh when kids were like brutally honest with what they received or how they, said something. It's nice just to kind of smooth it. You don't have to be brutally honest. And it goes for adults too. You might have got something you're not crazy about. But you don't have to go and say, "Man, really? You wasted your money on this." You can be, I'd say, diplomatic.
It's not what I would have chosen.
Yeah, even that's a little rough, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I think we've all gotten. I should probably save this for Christmas, but or holidays because they're right around the corner. We've all gotten things that were like
not our
really,
cup of tea.
And I think that's why we make the kids write down, tell us what you'd like. It's just easier. Sometimes it's just gift cards are easier because then they can pick out what, especially clothes wise, they can pick out what they want. But sometimes you see something, you think it's cute. Well, that doesn't mean that exercise clothes. I mean, you could, that's
I can usually buy that for my daughter-in-law.
Yeah, that's pretty simple. But I mean, if you were going to go buy, I don't know. Nowadays it's just tough. Our boys, they wear different things. I wanted to buy RJ a sweatshirt because I noticed that one had a stain on it that we saw him yesterday. Yeah, I'm like, he probably needs some clothes.
Looked like he just spilled coffee on him.
Yeah, it might have been just today.
Yeah, it might have been that day because he had Finn with him.
Right, he was by himself, and so anyway. Okay, so we've all had, right? I mean, we can all be honest. We've had gifts where we're like, But if you're just, hey, thanks, it's because, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is the thought
that counts.
Because they thought in their mind that is something you'd like to have. We need to save this conversation for Christmas because it's coming around sooner than we think. Because Halloween is just around the corner too. So, all right. So, how good would you say your memory is, Tara? You probably already forgot the question, huh?
It depends on what I have to remember. I'm not, I used to be good at names when I worked at the bank and stuff.
Names.
And just working at the church, being in with the kids, I can't remember the kids' names. And there's certain ones I even know, like who the parent belongs to. And that's why I have to look up the board and say, oh, okay, that's it. Because they have the little pins up there with the names on it. I have a hard time with it. And taking roll, I had to pass out the slips to make sure I got everyone. So you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because I was afraid I would mark someone the wrong name,
It's one of those things where my memory, and I see these people. No, there's people I see every day, people you see sporadically, but it just bugs me because they know my name and I'm scrambling
for theirs.
So I go, hey, or how you got to change.
How you doing?
How you doing today? But it just bugs me that I don't even know if I could if it wasn't for your number or I think I barely remember RJ's and Nathan's phone numbers. Well, you got the phone. You don't really have to remember.
I know it's made us very
numbers.
Lazy because what would we do if we got lost without our phone and we need to borrow someone's? Like, say you're in the airport and your phone fell in the toilet or something, and you needed to call someone, and you could say, "Sir, do you mind if I make a local phone call just to let my husband know I've landed and where at gate I'll be at?"
Yeah.
And would we know the number to even call them?
I know.
I know. Because things like that can happen, but we are so used to our phone, and it dials it for us.
Yeah, you say, call Terry, call Or
Yeah.
a lot of times, like if you get a call and you just want to call back quick, you just hit the
Redial.
recent and it calls you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about not being able to remember numbers. I can't remember names, so I know I'm
Like
not
I
going to be able
know,
to remember
I
numbers.
don't know moms. I would have to really.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Mm.
I know my mom's number because I grew up with that number. It's the same number when I lived there. Phone number, not her cell.
No, not her cell, but
she
her
don't.
phone number.
I mean,
yeah.
she don't use a cell phone anyway. It's,
Yeah, I would
it's
have
just-
to call her home phone to tell her to call you
yeah,
that
'cause
I'm here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
the
if
cell phone's not being used.
Yeah.
But anyway, they did a study, and makes sense in a way. And actually, your mom has been doing this right, although she hasn't had television because for some reason it's just all I don't know if they didn't pay the cable or
The cable
was
box is
paid,
just
the
not-
box is bad, who knows. Anyway, a lot of times though she gets up, she doesn't even turn the TV on. And this study said that they found that turning off the television and picking up a crossword puzzle
which
and eating more fish
she doesn't eat fish.
could be the key to a better memory. Now we are eating fish. That doesn't help my memory.
We haven't been eating as much fish as we were when I was dieting. We're still having it more often than we used to, though.
Yeah,
Because
we're
we
eating
rarely ate fish. And then we were eating fish two,
this
3
diet
times a
that
week.
you're on. Yeah.
Yeah, if we were eating it 2, 3 times a week when I was dieting, now we're eating at least once a week. So
We've let's see, because I've kind of broadened my fish intake. We've started tuna. Last time we had tuna was a little dry.
I think it's because
Weird.
I thawed it in the microwave and it got
think?
dry around and then we put it in the air fryer and it was dry. It was dry.
Tuna, cod. What else do I eat? Tuna, cod,
Tilapia.
tilapia.
We used to eat haddock.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
don't
I
do
used
that
to
as
buy.
much.
I haven't seen it.
Mm-mm.
And we had flounder. And what else have we had? Tuna, cod, flounder, tilapia. That's about all we had
Yeah.
over
But
the diet.
But I can see turning off TV and getting your brain because when you watch TV, it's numbing. We just finished watching Love Island USA. I mean, that's mind numbing. Although it seems
We're
like
all
it got
dumber for knowing you.
well, yeah, but it seems like these couples, the 3 couples, are still together, as far as we know, up to this point. So maybe they made some connections. I don't know. But anyway, so you turn off the TV, eat more fish. And they also said that people who read more fiction had better memories than those who don't. Do you read fiction? Yeah, you read fiction.
I read all kinds of crap.
You're reading some about, well, you were reading about vampires.
Yeah, I
try to get her to read the romance stuff to see if it makes her horny, but it didn't really work.
well,
Not as much as I'd like
this
to.
one's supposed to be kind of romantic too, but
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it has, but it got weird then, they started saving people and sucking blood and stuff, and it just kind of
And then it said,
lost me.
those that have are heavy drinkers found it more difficult to recall names. Well, yeah, that would make sense. If they're heavy drinkers.
And I think recalling names, like I said, when I was a banker, it was like part of my job, and I just knew, okay, Mr. Burke, you got to use to your customers that asked for you, and you knew them very well. And I remember also paying attention to who looked drunk or high when they were withdrawing for their savings, and I would write a note on the withdrawal slip. My eyes were real red, This kid may not remember taking this out. It was him. I know it was him.
Just for you, just so you know.
Yeah, because, the very first day I was on the teller line, I had to go to court for something.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that kind of taught me,
Just take little notes. Just in case.
to be aware of what you're doing a little bit more.
If they came in smelling like Cheech and Chong, they might not know exactly what's going
They
on
might not know why they withdrew that $100, but they were on a party spree.
while they're eating their snacks,
Yeah.
the munchies.
Yeah.
If you, we've talked about dogs. I wish I'd have tied this in with dogs. That would have been better when we were talking about asking dogs questions if they could understand us. And I said, dogs can smell this on us. And you said fear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually stress. They can,
But they can, because I believe that Rigby really is more loving when I'm stressed out.
the researchers from Queen's University in Belfast. They carried out these experiments, and they used 4 dogs and 36 people, and they came up with that canines seem to be able to smell stress in human breath and sweat. I didn't know. I guess you could smell stress. Despite the small sample of pups, the results are intriguing. Scientists noted that their work could have implications for training, service, and therapy dogs, so that if you are stressed, it would like trigger the dog just like a therapy dog would. Although I'm not really sure how this therapy thing works for sure. Like, what is it?
I just know that when I had a bad day at work and I'd come home and Rigby lived here, he was more likely to jump in my lap. He was more likely to, like, he knew it.
Well, it says that it used to be that they detected stress by visual, like they could tell by visual. But now with this study, they're saying that they can probably sense it just by the human body and how it's responding to stress. So it would be how we are exuding that as far as like our sweat and, that kind of stuff. So dogs can smell stress. I could see that. Dogs are smart. They can.
Well, I know, like, we have a couple of service dogs that come to school with teachers, and they know, like, the one is for diabetic and knows when her sugar goes low. It will paw her leg. It knows, and she'll be like, she's not feeling it yet, but 5 minutes from then, by the time she gets down to her room and checks it, that dog told her
ahead of
5
time.
or 10 minutes before she knew it.
That's wild.
And then the other one, I think has a number of different problems, but I think sometimes passes out or something. And if it starts yipping, then she's going to have a spell and she needs to sit down. And it prevents her from falling down and hitting her head if she does pass out. Sometimes it prevents her from passing out because she'll sit down. You know how they tell you sit down and put your head between your knees. Well, the dog knows it before she feels it come on.
Huh. That's wild.
Because, Nathan, when he passed out, he felt something coming on. He didn't know quite what it was. Well, the dog would have been yipping before that. Yip, 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 until he sat down and put his head between his knees, and maybe he would have never hit the pavement. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's what it's trained to do. So
that's wild because again, that would have to be some type of a smell.
Mm-hmm. And Janet says that Cricket has yipped at her when she's playing ball in the yard.
Get over.
And she was coming down with a migraine or something, and she would, she went in to figure out, and then she, the dog knew that she was, coming up with a migraine before she did.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. But dog, I guess.
The dog,
but they're
they've
not
been
trained.
out on a walk. No, and that one's not even trained, but that one can be on a walk with her and know to go home now.
But the one that about the had diabetes or whatever, that dog was trained?
Yes, that one's been through
I wonder
training.
how you do
and
that.
I don't know if she had a little service dog thing, so they've trained that one, yeah.
That's wild. Well, I don't know if we'll get through all this stuff or not, but so there was a lady that was worrying about Walmart's self-checkout technology, and she said she was sharing some things that you can and cannot do. Like she said that Abigail Vasquez, she talked about her experience at the Walmart self-checkout. She said she picked up a discounted tiramisu cake. Now, we've done this with the discounted, and we've had issues with that. She said that she picked it up in the bakery section of the store. She attempted to scan it at self-checkout, but couldn't due to the barcode being partly peeled off. Well, right there is your mistake. Because if it's partly gone, then you already have issues. Don't you think? Because it's not going to read the whole. If it's missing some barcode, it's going to be a problem. She says the Walmart employee overseeing the self-checkout told her to just put it in her bag. Well, that doesn't make sense because if it didn't take, she tries to scan other items, but the self-checkout alerted her that a Walmart team member was on the way. And when the team member got there, puts in her ID to help Vasquez, it alerted the team member that she was stealing and showed the video from the overhead camera, putting the cake in her bag without properly scanning it. And when the team member asked her about the cake, she explained that the scan code didn't work, which, I mean, if it didn't work, then you can't put it in your bag.
No, but the employee told her to.
Yeah, the team member scanned it with her scan gun, and it worked. And she was able to finish up, and they let her go. But there's no way I'd put that, because the camera, you can see yourself.
Yeah,
it's right there. So I mean, I think her reasoning, and she should have just kept. And you can't have Walmart employees. I mean, they're going to tell you, if they're not the boss, just put it in your bag. Well, but it didn't scan.
I don't think. Because even when we worked at the grocery store, we had to look underneath the buggies, and you could get rode up if you missed it.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't scan.
So you could lose your job over telling someone to put it in.
Yeah, I would think so, or at least I don't know. You can't find people to work, so they probably wouldn't do anything to her. To be honest,
this is a different age than when we were young.
Ain't that the truth? All right, when we come back, we're going to decode our dreams. We're going to find out if we're in a rut. I don't know if we're going to get all through this. We got a lot going on here. And then our pizza toppings. What kind of pizza toppings do you like? And is it going to reveal what you like in the opposite sex? Interesting. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So you want to start a podcast. Maybe you're listening to the show today and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun. And I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world. Or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. It is a lot of fun just talking to your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website, and all you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players, and you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter, and they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. Welcome back. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
And we're still here. So in case you were wondering if we were taking off, well, no, we're back. We're going to decode our dreams. You've had any weird dreams lately?
I don't think so.
I've had some strange dreams lately.
I have at different times, but I remember.
I mean, years ago, I used to always be naked in school. You ever do that? When you're running, you like can't figure out your clothes while you're doing it?
I remember not being able to find where my class was or something.
Yes, that too.
I remember having those dreams.
Being like lost in the building.
Yeah, like you went to your room and no one's there.
Yeah.
And now, well, maybe I'm on the wrong period. And then you go through your whole thing and it's like, no one's there. And my class isn't in any of them, you know.
I've had dreams where I'm working with my dad and I can see him like we're sitting right here.
Vividly, yeah.
Vividly. And It's just, and then you wake up and you're like, wait a minute, he's been gone now for what, 20 years. So yeah, but I've had some really strange dreams. So if you're decoding your dreams, like for instance, if you dream about cars, it says that vehicles in dreams represent your body and identity. So if the car is in good shape, it shows you take care of yourself. Have you ever dreamed about a car? I haven't.
No,
I've never had any car dreams. But anyway, I could see that, right? Car's in good shape. If the car needs repair, then you do too. Okay, that makes sense. If your car is being worked on, this suggests that you're undergoing a life overhaul. So if you're dreaming about cars, if it's in good shape, you're good. If you need repair, then you do too. I don't know what you go to the doctor, I guess. And then if it's being worked on, you're going to be overhauled. Have you ever dreamed about a celebrity?
No.
No, me neither. I've never had a dream about a celebrity. If you have dreamt about a celebrity, a star in a dream symbolizes power, influence, glamour, and a desire to stroll down the red carpet of life. So you just want, I think it's not just so much a movie star.
Some people like fantasize and romance about certain actors or something like that. I never did that. I'm like, no, they're not really real to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe if you lived in Hollywood closer to them, then maybe you would have a chance to meet them or something. But it's not something that ever appealed to me or I needed in life.
It says, because every character in your dream represents you, the qualities of the celebrity and the role she plays in your dream, he or she in your dream, reveal an aspect of yourself. So if you're dreaming about celebrities, then maybe there's something you think that it reminds you of yourself, I guess. I've never had a dream about a celebrity, so I don't.
Characters in movies can remind you of yourself. Like, oh, I would have done that same thing, or oh, I would have done the opposite, Now,
I've had this, falling. You ever had dreams where you're falling?
And I wake up before I hit the bottom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dreams of falling let you know that you're feeling overwhelmed. So, and now, would you say, it's hard to think back, with those kind of dreams, but would you say at that point maybe you were feeling stress?
I would say I'm thinking maybe it was when all your family was sick and dying.
Yeah.
We went through a few years there where your dad was sick, your grandfather was in Harmerville, your grandmother was having something done. My aunt had lung cancer. It's like any place we went to visit someone was sick.
Yeah, or in the hospital.
Or in the hospital or dying or in a care,
And also says that if you have dreams about falling, that these dreams symbolize a feeling of loss of control, lack of confidence, and losing your way. It's just...
I thought that was the school dream, lack of confidence and losing your way.
You can't get back on track. You're trying to,
Trying to.
And you're free falling, basically, like Tom Petty would say. Great song. But, yeah, so I could see with that. Have you ever had a dream where there might be fire in it?
I think I've dreamed of camping and there's campfires, yeah.
Fire dreams represent change, transformation, passion, love, sexuality, energy, and destruction. There's a lot with fire. The dream also represents energy that feels out of control and foreshadows a major change coming in your life. So if you're dreaming about fire, it could be a big change coming. We talked about falling. What about flying?
I have, when we've driven 12 hours or so, I have dreamed that I'm driving the car and then it just starts flying. I don't know if it's from being behind the wheel for so long.
We should have already had flying cars.
I think when we drove all the way from Florida to here, when we moved my parents, I think when I fell asleep that night, I dreamed I was driving and then all of a sudden I was like above the trees flying the car. I was driving the car still, but I was flying. You know what I mean?
It says these dreams, if you're dreaming about flying, represent joy.
Like I wanted to just keep going, right?
Going. Feeling light. Well, you were looking forward to going where we were going.
Yeah.
Feeling light, confidence, creativity, independence, and awareness of a higher perspective.
Oh, could be. I mean,
you are free from physical constraints as you connect with your true spiritual essence and access your true potential. So if you're flying, you're probably just,
so after long car rides, I fly.
You're flying down there.
Well, you know what? I don't mind car rides at all. But sometimes when you sit too long in the car, you feel like you're still in motion after you get out. And that's what I always thought. That's why I dreamed that. You know what I mean? Because I still feel like I'm in motion because I got out of the car, ate something, and went to bed, And
you still can, even,
and you still feel like the motion.
You're still moving, the wheels going on
pavement.
The pavement. So decoding your dreams, we talked about cars. If you're dreaming about cars, celebrity, falling, fire, flying. And now we come to sex. You ever dreamed about sex?
Yeah.
Lusty dreams symbolize your desire, creativity, and passion. They help you to fulfill your unsatisfied or secret attractions, longings, and desires. Hey, baby, what kind of desires you got over there you're hiding from me? Any? We can't go deep into the sexual one, huh?
No. It's been a while.
Yeah, tell me about it. All right, let's move
on.
For a
dream,
Yeah, well, same thing. I haven't had any lately that I would remember. Usually wake up and I know if I have or not. Let's just move on to that. Have you ever dreamt about teeth?
I don't think so.
Dreams about teeth have to do with communication issues and your ability to chew on what you've learned throughout the day. What if your teeth are falling out? Did I not learn anything?
I would be worried about that.
Or get them knocked out. Speaking of dreams of losing your teeth, suggest feelings of insecurity, powerlessness, financial stress, or loss. Ooh, you're losing your teeth, and well, I'll tell you what. I don't know if you've looked at your 401k, but don't look.
They're not good.
Oh no, it's not good. So if I had to stop looking at it. It's so bad. Oh, it's horrible.
So I don't have anything.
How much money
left.
we've lost. It's not fun. It's been, although, the leader of our free world says we're doing great. So I don't know what world he's living in, but I need to go there.
I know he says there's no COVID
It
either.
must be nice and
he
rosy.
Ought to sit in my chair for a day and take all the parents that say their kids tested positive for COVID.
No, COVID's over. He said
COVID's over, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where he's living, but I need to go there because I think it's like a real rosy place for sure. We'll get off that topic quickly and move on to, are you in a rut?
I am.
Do you ever feel like you're in a rut?
I've been in a rut for quite a while, though, with my job.
Think about all the things you do when you get into a rut. Here's my thing. Like I get up in the morning, right? And I've had these thoughts of just, lately I've had them, quitting everything, shutting down the radio station, and basically all this is hobbies. That's all these are, is hobbies. And I just feel like if I don't have them, what am I going to do? Sit around, eat ho-hos all day?
If they give you a purpose, then they're worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, we've got a few listeners here and there, and I appreciate those who are following us. Maybe I need to push out a little bit, spend a little money.
Advertise a little bit.
Especially for this, the podcast.
And for the radio station. Your radio station may do better if you would actually.
It's tough to do internet.
But we've never really advertised it, though.
No.
But the few people I've told about it, they will come in and say, oh, I like that. That's the old time music that I grew up with.
Classic rock.
They like,
FM 7 to Drive.
If they're our age, they like the radio station.
Live 365. You can check it out. We're also on TuneIn. We're on my brother just said he found it on Roku.
Oh.
And it's on the Xfinity. So if you look at FM 7 to Drive, it's on there too. So it's in a lot of places. But there's been a time where I just feel like, maybe this just isn't. But I do like this because this is our way of just talking about certain things and just, getting out there. And there you can, I can do ads, and it does, I think it's $100, and you put an ad out for your podcast on other podcasts that are kind of like yours. Ours is a little different because we don't talk about a specific subject. We talk about multiple subjects because I think what happens is you lose, if you talk about the same thing for more than 15 minutes, they're gone. They're already gone. If
Unless
you do it
it's
for 15,
politics and they're really into it.
well, yeah, some. But I mean, if you,
You
even
got the
then
pros
you change.
and the cons, you could do a big debate.
I guess. But anyway, so the rut was, maybe I just shut it all down and just, but you just be in another rut anyway.
Yeah.
At least this gives me purpose. It says that the average adult spends the equivalent of just over 10 years of their lives on autopilot. They do the same routines and rituals day in and day out, and it equates to 1,396 hours each year, 27 hours a week, or nearly 4 hours a day doing the same things.
Mine's even more than that.
You get up, right? You stretch. Maybe some people shower.
A little bit of exercise,
a little bit of
whatever.
exercise.
Wash up, brush my teeth.
Yeah.
Get
your lunch
pack
ready.
my lunch by breakfast and lunch off to go. Then turn on the computer, and at work, I'm 6-7 hours of doing the same thing. Now, my job can be stressful when there's a lot going on there. I'm doing a lot at a time. I'm multitasking all the time, but then some days you don't have a lot of people coming in and out. You could be playing on your phone or, what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Listening to your radio station or whatever,
Right.
Yeah, there are days that it's slow and then you're just putting in what's in front of you, but that is monotonous. It's doing the same thing.
It says that people admitted they drift through 5 or more hours a day without any real thought on what they are doing.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
monotonous, right? Monotonous.
You look at the note, okay, parent note, sick,
Said that 64% claim their daily routine hardly ever changes, and it doesn't. My routine's always the same. Get up, I'll do a short morning show, go exercise, ride the bike, get in the shower, figure out what I'm going to wear. I hate that. I don't know why I care, but I kind of do. Do that. Then it's lunch, take the vitamins, help you turn on your curling irons, make sure the curling irons are off. We should have probably checked we just ruined chili because we had it on high
instead
all
of low
day long.
Oh, yes, it burned up.
We're lucky it didn't get burned. And then the bread that was on top of it. Now, mind you, we have the crock pot, and then she puts it in a pan, puts the frozen bread, and it usually rises really nice because it's on a slow heat.
Very low heat.
And it was on a high heat, so it pretty much cooked not just the chili, but it cooked the bread too.
It popped a big bubble, and the dough went places. And
so we not only ruined chili, we ruined the bread too.
Mm-hmm.
So then we ended up eating
grilled cheese
and
soup.
tomato soup. And I'm not really a soup person. Anyway, so that's our routine. We didn't do it. The top 5 things they do the same way every day include getting dressed, showering at the same time, eating the same breakfast.
Yep.
That's not 5 things. That's only, so it's dressed, showering, eating.
My stretches and exercise. It's the same.
Stretching,
every day.
yeah.
Do stretches for my back, the same ones.
79% say they're in a rut. I do sometimes feel like I'm in a rut. It's a feeling. I always think of that commercial, "Time to make the donuts."
Yeah.
And he passes himself.
Yeah.
As he's
coming and going.
Time to make the donuts. 6 in 10 have bought a self-help book, never finished it. 53% said that they would like to be more proactive about their personal finances, and sometimes they're a little bit lax on their finances, which, I will admit, when we were younger,
we had
probably
to be
didn't
on it because if we weren't,
well, we didn't have any money.
Yeah,
anyway.
because you had to watch it or you'd overdraw.
Yeah, and so that's I don't know. I don't know how you would get out of that rut. They had talked about several things you get out of the rut where you would change up like Sunday night, we talked about the Sunday scaries where Monday's coming and you don't want to be in the same situation again, and doing the same things. You change it up. Maybe watch your favorite shows, or do something fun for the morning to change it up a little bit. You got to find ways to make it interesting. Maybe adding a new topping to your pizza would be a way to make it fun.
Find a day that you can actually stay in bed.
So if you're eating pizza and they could tell you what you look at in the opposite sex by the
I like plain
vegetables
cheese pizza.
on your pizza. It said that if you fancy blondes, then the chances are pepperoni is your favorite pizza topping. Well, I love pepperoni pizza. Although you are not a natural blonde, you were not blonde when I met you.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of blonde in your hair now. It's a lot lighter than it was when I met you.
That's
You were a
because
brunette.
I'm hiding gray.
If you are a fan of meaty toppings, then you like redheads. A poll of 2,000 adults identified the correlation between their go-to pizza and what they find in a prospective partner. The study found 6 in 10 believe the way to someone's heart is through their stomach. 55% claimed that they shared a love of food as something they look for in a partner. We like the same foods. I mean,
Most of the time.
most time. I don't mind pepper or plain pizza. It's a change up. 1 in 10 find
You don't
someone.
like my pineapple and ham.
No, well, that comes up later. 1 in 10 finding someone who's specifically a fan of pizza is so important to them that they've mentioned the classic Italian dish on their online dating profile. Just the having pizza. Pizza's it's so easy. While the food appears to be a safe option on a date, some of those polled are particular about potential partners and their preferences for pizza. 15% claim they wouldn't date someone who ate a pizza with a knife and fork.
Maybe they're just trying to be polite.
Yeah, I mean,
When
they don't like to
first
get their
met
hands
you,
all, if
they
it's a
don't want to
greasy
get
pizza.
greasy and then wipe it on your shirt.
Well, they're not dating that person. 1 in 6 wouldn't go out with someone who leaves the crust. Well, they wouldn't date me because I don't always eat the crusts. Unless it's filled with cheese, then I'm in. 17% would put off by someone who likes what on their pizza?
Pineapple.
Pineapple. Yeah, you guys like your pineapple on your pizza. I can't do it. I've done it, but I'm not happy about it. 21% and 23% feel the same about those who go for tuna and anchovies as
They put
toppings.
tuna on pizza.
That's what it says here.
Have to try that one.
Really? Tuna?
I like tuna. Usually.
What would you make? You'd have to put it with something.
I don't know.
What do you put it with?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't see tuna. I've had anchovies because you mix it in with the meats. So if you put, we've done it.
Yeah.
We've done it. I think we have. Haven't we?
I don't like anchovies.
You sure it's not been on our pizza?
I don't think so.
On our meat pizza? Because you just say, give me the works.
But they don't have anchovies on it.
All right, then I never had it then. You sure about
Because
that?
the meats are sausage and bacon and ham.
All right. All right, well, we did it. We got through it. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's it. Now, next week, we're going to talk about 7 weird things people find attractive.
7 weird things
Yeah.
you find attractive.
Attractive. Yeah, we'll talk about that next week. And we want to thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that. You can follow us on Facebook or Twitter at Just Talking Out Loud. And you can also subscribe, and you will get an alert every Monday when we have a new episode. And I'm trying to find ways that we can do a little more communicating. Maybe we should start a Twitter or an Instagram, or we're Just Talking Out Loud, where we can communicate more, maybe ask questions and get their feedback for the next week's. Like maybe they have a weird attraction that they would want to send, and we could add it to the list of something they look for in a potential partner. But we're coming up. I got to come up with more ideas, and we'll do that. But I want to thank you for listening, and have Let's see what else I want. Did I want to say anything else?
Have a blessed week.
Have a blessed week.
That's my line usually, and you always want to say it.
I don't know why I want to say that's it. We're out. And then you can say
have a blessed week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.